So now let's come to the inheritance concept. The purpose of inheritance, you see, why do you need to have so many classes, parent, child, all this? I can have only one class, right? Generally, if I have only one class and create everything, it is okay. Practically, my business will run, no problem. But why should I have so many classes? Why should I have multiple classes? To handle the business in a proper way. Managing will be easy. Maintenance will be easy. Correct? See, physically how you are structuring your business, you are not doing everything in same department. You are just dividing your business into department 1, department 2, department 3 like this to handle it in a proper way. So you have so many branches levels. Okay, like this. Same way, when you are going to create the functionalities in the classes, all functionalities you don't create in one single class. Based on its scope of accessibility and all, appropriately you are going to create the functionalities at the higher classes or lower classes like that. What type of functionalities you create at the higher classes? Simply speaking, any functional component which is very common, accessible, needed for all the below levels. Okay, verification related functionality is needed for accounts, loans, insurance. So where do you create? Higher level. Verification class, you put it at higher level, create there. Based on its scope of accessibility, you create at the appropriate place. Understand? So if this is the way you organize to have so many classes in your application, what is going to happen is maintenance will be easy. Maintenance will be easy. Okay, only at one place if you make changes, it will reflect at multiple places below. Okay, and now here you go. Let's talk about the inheritance concept. See, whenever you create a new application, you got so many classes created along with that, out of which we were focusing only on these three classes, right? Only on these three classes as of now. Only bother about these three classes. In fact, the last one which you need to bother about this. And how many classes are there? 3. Can you tell me the names of the 3 classes? Organization, that is Signa. Division class name? Signa Auto. That's what you are reading, right? Remember it. You are saying Signa Auto. What is the name of the third class?
Unit class.
Unit class is work. This is what generally we are reading, but that's a wrong way of reading. I'll tell you how to read it, okay, properly. But look at it. Please be always on mute and do not go with 2 or 3 connections. Because how many connections you have? I'll dismiss you, connect back. That is disturbing others, please. Whoever I'm dismissing, connect back with only 1 connection. Even you one also. And we will give you an ID. Going forward, you'll not be able to connect from multiple devices. What is this process, man? How many connections you use? 1 person. Connect back, please. Signa Auto, and what is the next one? Work. Clear, everyone? Now, yes, it is getting recorded. Now you see here. The reason for these many classes, I told you, properly organizing and easy to maintain, easy to access, and no need to create everything redundantly. All these are the reasons. Now, Signa is the organization class, which is topmost one. Signa is organization. If I create a functional component, that should be accessible to below level or not? If a functional component created in one class to be accessible into another class, which means that there should be a relation defined between the classes. What do you call that relation? Inheritance. Then we need to understand there should be a relation defined between these 3 classes. It is present or not? That's what we are going to look at now. See, when I look at the class Signa, this is label and ID. You remember? I told you about label and ID. Name of the class is Signa, top level ID is Signa. This is the actual name, correct? Go to Signa Auto, right click on this and definition. What is its ID? Signa dash Signa Auto means the second class which you told, Signa Auto. That is not Signa Auto. What is that class name? Signa dash Signa Auto. First class is Signa. Second one is Signa dash Signa Auto. And coming to third one, work. By display it is work. But what is its, I'm sorry, what is its actual name? Signa Auto work. Means initially Signa is created. One class is created Signa. At the time, while creating Signa Auto, they did not create the name independently. They created it appending to the previous class. Already one class is Signa. Signa Auto is created, automatically it got created. We did not manually. Even if you are manually doing, we would be doing the same. Signa Auto is created appending to the previous class. Why it was appended to the previous class? The reason, it is appended with a hyphen. It is appended with a hyphen. You read this as dash. This hyphen defines inheritance relation between two classes. Here, Signa is going to be a parent class. Signa Auto is going to be a child class. But Signa Auto is not independent. Signa dash Signa Auto. The reason is, I want Signa Auto to be created inheriting from the Signa class. If you want to do this, you need to use a hyphen and append to the previous class. Understand? So the hyphen here is a symbol called as dash that represents the inheritance relation between two classes. And the third class, Signa Auto I work. Signa Auto work. Short, you can call it a work class. In short, you call it as work class. Work class is inheriting from Signa Auto as well as Signa. Two classes are there as parent. Means for a current class, before hyphen, how many classes are there? All those are parents. For example, A dash B dash C. What are the parent class of A dash B dash C? You should say this way. A dash B, A. These two are parents. You should not read B standalone. How it is created with ID? A dash B, while creating B, A is top level class. While creating B, how do you create? A dash B. Why? Because I want B to be inherited from A. While creating C, how do you create? A dash B hype dash C. For the class C, in short, if I say C, for the class C, what are the parent classes? If I ask you, the way of reading it is A dash B, A. That is how you need to read. Understand? That is the practice always. That's the professional way. Make sense, everyone? Clear? Online resources.
Yes, Harsha.
Okay. Now you see here. So the inheritance relation defined here, it looks like the entire name looks like class name is a naming pattern. What is it? It's a naming pattern. What is the pattern symbol here? Hyphen is the pattern symbol. Dash is the pattern symbol. See, the inheritance relation is being defined by a naming pattern. That's why this is called as pattern inheritance. What is this called as? Pattern inheritance. So there are two types of inheritance in Pega. One is pattern inheritance. Second one is direct inheritance. First one is pattern inheritance. Second one is direct inheritance. Pattern inheritance is a class naming pattern where a class inherits from another class by a hyphen. It is very easy. If I show you a class name and ask you what are the parent classes of this particular class, you can easily say by class naming pattern itself. If I have given you, let's say, what are the parent class of class Z? Simply if I ask you this, W dash X dash Y, W dash X and W. What type of parents are these? Pattern parents. These are pattern parents. Okay, understand? So in order to access the functionalities of organization class, division class into unit, Pega is following pattern inheritance. All these classes belongs to same application or not? These three classes are part of this application or not? These three are part of this application only, correct? Within the same application, if we have classes, we can access the functionalities. Okay, I'll tell you one more thing here. See, I have an application. Okay, application A. In this, I have class, class A, and another class called class B. Class, I did not define any relation between these two. There is no relation defined. Is it possible to access the functionalities of B into A or A into B as per the present design? I told you there is no inheritance relation. Is it possible to access the functionalities of one class into another class? No. Why it is not possible? Because there is no inheritance. Even if it is the same application classes, we cannot access the functionalities of one class into another class. That is not possible. It is very simple, irrespective of application, whatever it is. If you want to access the functionalities, definitely functionalities will be there inside classes only, right? So if you want to access the functionalities of a class into another class, there must be inheritance relation defined. Keep this point in mind. Now, the functionalities of same application classes are being accessed by using pattern inheritance. Are being accessed by using which inheritance? Pattern inheritance. Understand this is clear, everyone? Now, if I am going to design a transaction model here, I want to use some functionalities I can access from division class, organization class. Then what about OOTP functionalities at the base class? We have send email notification I was showing, right, since beginning. Send email notification, open this. This is there in which class? Will I be able to access this functionality into my work class? As of now, as per the relationship that you are aware of, not possible. Because I didn't see any relationship, correct? In my application for this transaction class, parent class are signa auto I. I don't see anywhere base class is being parent. I cannot access this, right? So, but I want to access the functionalities provided by Pega or not. That's why I purchased the license of Pega, spending so much of amount, correct? So I need a facility to access the functionalities of Pega platform also. Pega platform is my application or other application? Is it my Signa Auto or some other application? Some other application has functionalities in the respective classes of that application. I want to access those functionalities now. The same concept is also applicable for your framework application. Your framework application has classes, right? I can show up those classes here. I can show you here. Framework application classes are there. This is belongs to framework application, right? Will I be able to access the framework application class functionalities into implementation application directly? No, unless there is an inheritance relation, you cannot access any classes from anywhere. Even same application also you cannot access. How about other application? Definitely you cannot access, right? What is the reason we created framework application, implementation application, and Pega platform? Pega platform, framework, implement. This structure has been created in order to access only, right? If I want to access the functionalities of any classes, inheritance is needed. But I have already seen that in my present application, pattern inheritance is there to access some classes of same application. But what about framework application class functionalities, OOTP application class functionalities? How do I access that? For that, we need to find a solution. Make sense, everyone? I'll show you a diagram. Hold on. See, look at here. So Pega platform, framework application, implementation application. This is Pega platform, right? There are some classes, some functionalities in Pega platform, some classes, some functionalities in framework, and some classes, some functionalities in implementation. The reason for creating this structure is I wanted to access the functionalities of Pega platform into my implementation, my framework application functionalities into implementation. That's the reason why I created like this. Now I need to define the inheritance relation between the classes. So if I want to access the functionalities of Pega platform into framework, there should be a relation between classes between these two applications, right? So class C here want to access the functionalities of class A. Class A is in Pega platform, class C is in framework. How it can access? Only when you define inheritance relation. Only when you define inheritance relation. For that, you need to define an inheritance relation between these two. Understand? Now, similarly, class D wants to access class B. Then inheritance relation should be defined. See, simply, if you create one application on top of another application, functionalities will not be accessible. Application to be available on top of another application plus classes to classes inheritance should also be there. Within the same application itself, two different classes functionalities are not accessible without inheritance. Then how come other application class functionalities will be accessible? Damn sure no. So to make it possible, definitely we need to define inheritance relation. Keep this point in mind. How to define, I'll tell you, and where to define, I'll show you. Everyone following? You understand the question and the need? Okay. Now, to make it possible, Pega comes up with a different inheritance type. That is called direct inheritance. That is called direct inheritance. Look at here. By default, what is being created, I'm going to show you. By default, what is being created automatically when you create new application, I'll show you. But before this, I'll tell you one point. Just tell me this. Class A, okay, for example, class B inherits from class A, let's say, inherits from, now class C inherits from class B. If I'm going to define something like this, class C can access the functionalities of class B, damn sure. Class B can access the functionalities of class A, damn sure. Now my question is, can class C access the functionalities of class A? Yes, it can access. Yes, it can access. I'll tell you the reason. Parent class functionalities it can access. Parent of parent.
Voice is breaking, Harsha.
Harsha, your voice is not audible.
Sir, your voice is not listening properly.
We cannot hear you.
Not turn on your camera. Sometimes, not sometimes, it should not happen generally. Okay, now am I audible? I have stopped my camera. Am I audible, everyone?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
For some time I will be
Yes,
stopping
sir.
my camera. See here. Class C, class A, class B inherits from class A, class C inherits from class B. Class C can access class B for sure. Class B can access class A for sure. And class C can also access class A. Because inheritance concept will be like this. Grandfather, father, grandchild. Grandchild can access the property of grandfather as well apart from father. Because there is an inheritance relation. A class can access the properties of parent as well as parent of parent as well as parent of parent of parent of parent parent, like this higher level. Till the higher level it can access. This point you keep in mind. Now we need to work on some practical. I'll tell you. Now let's talk about direct inheritance. I would like to go and see what is the direct parent of a class. In order to see that, see at this point I am going to focus only on work class. Don't ask me about Signa and Signa Auto. Very important to understand only about transaction class. Right click on the class, definition. I clicked on definition. This is my implementation work class, correct? Similarly, framework application also has a work class or not? I will log into framework application in a different tab. Just look at here. I mean, like a private window I'll take. Private window. What is the ID? devfw@signa.com. Password, rules. I logged in. Just I want to show you both at a time. Okay. I copied the URL here, just simply Dev Studio, go to App Explorer. But in framework, how many classes will be there? 4 will be. FW making sense. FW application work class, I'll take the definition. What is the parent class of first implementation work class? Here you scroll down. This is the one which you need to focus. Above checkbox, don't bother about it. This is the one. Parent class directed. What is there? Work dash cover dash. What is this work dash cover dash class? This is OOTB class. I've given you names of the OOTB classes, right? Base class, work dash, data dash, int dash, index dash, embed dash, CMIS dash, like this I've given, right? Out of which work dash cover dash. See, this one also I can ask you one question. I told you OOTB class is work dash. Now I am showing you work dash cover dash. What is the parent class of work dash cover dash? What is the parent class of this class? Yeah, you should not read it as work. You should read it as work dash. These OOTB class names itself have dash. Reason I will explain you. Some of the OOTB classes, you see, class name itself has dash. The reason being, a class name must end with hyphen if it is an abstract class. If it doesn't have a hyphen, that is considered to be concrete class. But this naming convention has been deprecated starting from Pega 7. Means before Pega 7, when you create classes, the names ending with hyphen PRPC will consider as abstract. If you want to create abstract class, how do you create a dash? A dash. If you want to create concrete, you create a. Understand everyone clear? So that is not been that has been deprecated now. Means you don't need to follow that. You have a drop down, abstract, concrete drop down is there, which I have shown you. But previously, long back, naming convention was there. Okay, a dash if you create, then that is abstract. A you create, then that is concrete. So long back Pega has been designed its OOTB classes, right? That's why class names itself have dash. If you find a dash in the class name, that is abstract. Means for older version, not now. Okay. Work dash cover dash, the parent class is work dash. For work dash cover dash, what is the parent class? Work dash. That is just for your information. Which inheritance? What is the inheritance type? Pattern inheritance. The inheritance type is pattern inheritance. Anyhow, come back here. See, a class where the transaction gets initiated is called as class group. A class where your transaction gets initiated is called as a class group. Can I give more than one class as a parent here? I'll try, comma, another class I'll select. Click a down arrow, choose some other class. How many are there now? 2. Allowing or not? Let us see. Is it allowing? No. Means in the direct inheritance, parent class should be only 1. It should be only 1 class. I'll save now. The reasons why it is work dash cover dash I'll tell you later. But this is work dash cover dash. Now go to framework work class. Framework work class. In the framework application also we have a class group work class, transaction class. For that, what is the parent? Work dash cover dash. I'm going to draw this as a diagram. Okay. Whatever I have just now shown you. I'm sorry. Paint, right? I'm going to draw this as a diagram. Look at here. This is what is this one? Work dash cover dash. This is direct inheritance, correct? And now, and next below, these are the 2 classes. Okay. First one, let's say Signa auto work. Signa auto work. What is this one? Implementation work class. Signa FW Signa INS, you are right. I'm sorry. Signa INS insurance work. These are different classes. Okay, and this is FW work class, transaction class. This is implementation work class, transaction class. What about this one? OOTB class. This is OOTB class. Inheritance relation, whatever that I am seeing now, I'm going to draw the same. This particular class is inheriting from, you will be usually drawing the arrow mark reverse. Otherwise, reverse you have to draw. Means this is inheriting from above class. That is the meaning. And this is also inheriting from above class. What type of inheritance it is? Direct inheritance, correct? Direct. We are just watching direct inheritance. Okay. From the diagram only you have to understand and tell me. My implementation class group can access OOTP functionalities of Pega from work dash cover dash. Yes or no? Yes, it can access. And my implementation transaction class can access the OOTP functionalities of Pega which are there in work dash cover dash. Yes or no? Yes or no? Framework transaction class can access or not? Just you should be confident enough when you look at the diagram. Okay, your voice should be having that confidence level shown up. Okay, and now my question is, can my implementation transaction class access the functionalities of my framework application transaction class? Yes or no?
No.
No, it cannot access.
No.
What is the reason? There is no inheritance relation. But what was the reason I created my implementation application on top of framework application? To access functionalities. But is that being achievable? No, we should achieve it actually. We should have to achieve it. Now my requirement is like this. I want my implementation transaction class to access OOTB work dash cover dash and my framework transaction class to access OOTB work dash cover dash. That is already present. Okay. Additionally, what I am looking for is my implementation transaction class should be able to access framework transaction class functionalities. That's the reason why I created my implementation on top of framework. Otherwise, not needed, right? I want to access the functionalities of framework transaction class into implementation transaction class. For that, I need to make a relation between those two. But at the same time, my implementation class should also be able to access work dash cover dash. That should not be disturbed. Means it should be able to access further. It should be able to access framework transaction class as well as OOTB. That should be there. For that, you tell me the changes diagrammatically. Explain me the changes. Only diagrammatically explain the changes for the requirement. This is the existing one. Let me create a document. 599 October 2000. Okay, done. Now you tell me. Make changes here. Diagrammatically make changes. Change this diagram. Okay. The way to achieve implementation transaction class should be able to access framework transaction class as well as OOTB. Framework should be accessing OOTB. What are the changes to be done?
If you bring that framework,
Implementation class from the to framework.
From implementation transaction class, create a relation with framework transaction class. I did it. Now this is a direct inheritance, right? In a direct inheritance, parent 1, parent 2. Is this possible to mention like this? Just 2 minutes
No.
back I have shown. It is not possible.
No.
This is okay. What else has to be done?
We need to remove the direct inheritance for implementation class.
You are going to do what?
Remove the
This
direct
one?
inheritance. Yeah.
Remove the direct inheritance between implementation transaction class and work dash cover dash. Correct? I want to increase the size of this one. How do I increase? Sorry. Control plus. So I'm going to remove it as you told. Okay, I'm going to remove it as you told. Diagrammatically, I'm making the change. Okay, done. Okay, now let us look at the changes. Here you go. Now my implementation. Okay, fine. Coming to framework. My framework transaction class, it is a child of word dash cover dash. It can access ODB functionalities. Clear? It was like this. It is like this now. My implementation work class is a child of framework work class. It can access the functionalities of framework work class. We have achieved what we would like to, right? We have achieved what we wanted to achieve. This is also done. Now my question is, can my implementation transaction class access the functionalities of OOTB or dash cover dash from the diagram? Is that being possible or not? First you tell me that.
Yes,
That is
possible.
being possible. How come? How come?
It can access the parent's parent functionality.
Parent of
Direct.
parent functionalities, can it access or not? It can access, right? That's how we are achieving it. Diagrammatically, whatever the change that you have told me just now, you tell me practically. On PRB's environment, I want to do the same. Okay, now you tell me how to make changes. This is a practical for today.
Go to the implementation class.
Okay, let me first draft the document. So let's look at the direct inheritance of implementation and FW work class. Work class means transaction class. We are focusing only on this. Don't ask me about organization division or something. You never bother about it for next 15 days. Don't ask me about it. Okay, we'll discuss later. You'll get confused. Look at the direct inheritance of implementation framework work class. Let me give the documentation for that. This is implementation class, right? You know how to reach out to this form? You know or not? Log into implementation application, right click on this and go to definition. Let me give the same implementation application, login and see this definition, and here you go, scroll down. Let me close this document. Work dash cover dash was the OOTB class, was parent class of implementation work class. Our work is different, work dash is different. Work dash is OOTB. That's what we are seeing from the diagram. Next, FW application. Look at here. FW application also same way. I don't need to give the navigation, correct? You log in and then right click on that particular one. Similarly, work dash cover dash was the parent for framework transaction application transaction class. That's what we are seeing. The same is represented diagrammatically below. You see the same diagrammatically. Now my requirement is, our requirement is implementation transaction class should be able to access framework transaction class functionalities plus OOTB work dash cover dash functionalities. This is what my requirement. To achieve this, make below changes as shown in the diagram. As shown in the diagram, we are going to make changes. Same you tell me now. Do what? Diagrammatically, whatever that you are seeing, just explain me how to achieve this in our PRPC environment. Tell me the navigations, what to do.
Go
Log
to the
into implementation application.
Right click.
Work class definition. You know how to go to there? Already I have given screenshot above, right? This is where you need to come to implementation application. This one. Now remove work dash cover dash and choose what? FW work class. I'll choose it. Now I remove it. Click the down arrow. What is it? Signa.
Signa
In this
dash FW dash.
place, you should be selecting. You should not manually type it. That's why I'm giving the screenshot showing you the selection process. FW work class. Save this. Done. Completed. So this is how you need to make it. Now for this class, the parent is framework work class. For framework work class, the parent is work dash cover dash. So work dash cover dash is also parent to implementation class. Did we achieve it or not? So we achieved accessing the functionalities of another application into this application classes by using which type of inheritance? Direct inheritance. So let's talk about the purpose of pattern inheritance and purpose of direct inheritance. The purpose of pattern inheritance is to access the functionalities of from the classes of same application. Pattern inheritance purpose is to access the functionalities from the classes of same application, which belongs to same application. And the purpose of direct inheritance is to access the functionalities of classes of different application. Pattern inheritance means within the application pattern relation. Okay, there is a link. Direct inheritance means outside application, another application you will be accessing. I'll ask you one question here. If I click the down arrow, I'm thinking like I wanted to select Signa FW, Signa work, the Signa insurance work. When I click the down arrow, this is not been shown up in the drop down. This is not been shown up in the drop down. What was the reason? So you are practicing all the same example. And when you click the down arrow here, implementation application direct inheritance, you wanted to see framework application related work class, but that has not been shown up in the drop down here. What was the reason? Correct. The reason is implementation application has not been built on framework. You forgot to create implementation application on top of framework application. If you do not do this, it won't show up in the drop down here. Where should we fix it? Issue is here, but where is the fix? You need to go to implementation application definition and choose framework application as built on application. Issue is here, but the fix is somewhere else. Okay. Any doubts or any questions about pattern and direct inheritance? There are two types of inheritance. One is pattern. Pattern inheritance is just by class naming pattern. Straightforward, when you look at the class name, you can easily say what are the parent classes. And the purpose of pattern inheritance is to access the functionalities of classes from same application. And direct inheritance, you define the parent class in the class rule form at the place pattern inheritance, direct inheritance place, where you can choose only one class. And the purpose of direct inheritance is to access the functionalities from the classes of another application usually. Okay, OOTB application, how do you access into Pega? By which inheritance? Direct inheritance. Understand?